Alrighty, welcome to the should be Absa video, I guess. Sorry for the poor audio quality. I just moved into my dorm about like 2 weeks ago, and there's like fucking like humming or whatever the fuck. I think you can hear it, so I'm sorry that y'all can hear it, or whoever's watching this video can hear it. Anyways, so the reason I'm making a video about this because I kind of want to touch more on more than just what you said in the video, because while yes, like the questions are good questions, and I can answer those questions pretty easily. They won't actually give you the bigger picture as to what goes beyond or what goes behind my actions, my thought processes. So I kind of want to touch on that ever so slightly. Now, my Absa has seen better shape. I was practicing her a lot during the, or like a couple months before GX2, and then I kind of stopped playing the game, and I'll play more endless. But you know, my is fine. But anyway, so going to go ahead and just go through the questions first, and then gonna go in depth as best I can on what do you say? Sorry. So the DM pulled up. There we go. So the first thing you asked me was how I'm so good at using up B and neutral and punish, and for edgeguarding. So Absa is definitely, or Absa up B is definitely one of her more unique moves, and it's actually really cool because, well, no, obviously, you know how up B functions. It's not just quick attack. It's a quick attack that when you are, you know, grounded, before you zip, if you go into the air, you not get put into special fall, which is very useful because it allows you to do quick platform movement, do tricky movement, recover in ways that you might not have been able to before. And then best of all, it allows you to do either single zip or double zip combo extensions, which are very, very useful, especially because Absa doesn't really have, it's not that she's not good movement, but she's definitely slower than other characters comparatively, because, well, yes, she does have a really good wave dash, and she does have good air acceleration. Her ground speed is not the fastest, so sometimes she can have a hard time catching up in some spots. So using uppy as a way to make up more distance is actually super useful, especially when you're platform attack chasing. Because Absa can do, actually make a, there we go, make a safe state. Right there should be fine. Alright. Safe state. Cool. So, like I said, it's on my keyboard, it doesn't. 2. Oh, that's F2. Oh, that's so useful actually. What if I do this? That's still F2. Oh, I have to be in that setting. Kind of stupid. Anyways, so understanding the implications of Absa up B and also the possibilities definitely allows you to do a lot of the things I do. And to summarize what I do is I basically use it as a way to extend or RTC or catch people on platforms. So one of the best things to do is Absa, and I really wish there was that way to TP to Zedemern. But so let me set the Zedemern to no tech and no DI. There we go, boom, and then that. Save state. I should be chilling. Yeah. So boom. So it's Absa is really good at hitting people on plats with uppy, because on the uppy, if you get the uppy 2, you get a true combo into a down air, you get a true combo into nair, into whatever the fuck, or a nair jab, nair, you do nair, why not F tilt or up tilt, that's kind of gimmicky, but like this nair 1 pop up can be really good because you can do hit ball nair 1 and then you can do stuff like that. Oh no, I'm moving so chomp right now. Why can I not fucking fast one? There we go. Anyway, so, and then most importantly, or not most importantly, but this is definitely a really good thing, is you can also, my ass, you can also combo into forward air, which is very nice because if you need to, you know, close out hip, close out the stock, or are trying to get the opponent off stage, man on the cheeks. Well, actually just type, because there's like certain ways you can do it. Actually, I guess the better way to demonstrate it is if you were to do this. That's a true combo. That's a much easier way to do it. So every time you get that type of uppy, lives at a burn. Nice. But every time you get this type of uppy, it's kind of better to always do a down air because you can get down air, up air, and you can cover DI left or DI right if you preemptively move. So honestly, every time you get this down air, I kind of always like to move left preemptively because if the DI left, that means that, you know, I get up air, and if the DI right, that means they get sent off stage. So my route kind of looks like left, and I see right, then I move back, and I can hover like this. Whatever, right? So, anyways, uppy is insane. Oh, another really easy thing to do is waveland jab. Holy shit. Or waveland, or waveland F tilt. Not only you can combo up tilt, but you can combo F tilt or jab. And so what you can do is you can do you know, jab into jab F tilt, and that can sometimes cross people up. Or you can do jab into jab like a tech read, because the jab does pop up enough to where if they do tech, you can read you can either read tech in place or read tech roll away or tech roll in, and you can get a nice cross up tilt if you're trying to score early kills at around 60-70%, depending on character, of course. Wham. So that's kind of how you use uppy aggressively, and that's also how you like can use it like with movement, but also pressuring spots. If you ever watch any Penguin VODs, who is really good at doing this, so I kind of copied this really from him. The thing that I took away the most from his Absa, or her Absa, sorry, was the kind of conditioning you're able to do with Cloud, because there we go. Because when Cloud is kind of right here in that spot and you're kind of dash chancing on this platform, the opponent is going to be kind of cautious. They might want to go to top plat, which you can cover with, you know, whatever the fuck, or they're just going to be hesitant to dash on the plat. They might be like, oh, I'm going to wait for the Absa to side B, or I'm going to wait for the Absa to pop Cloud, then I'll move in. And so they'll end up trying to weigh you out. But what you can do, because of that conditioning, is you're able to overshoot with your up B like this, and then now you get a really good extension. So this by itself with no Cloud is still fine to go for, but generally the Cloud makes this type of movement sequence or this type of approach option a lot better, because it kind of shuts down the space, and depending on how the opponent interacts with Cloud, as in if they don't interact and they respect it too much, you're able to kind of run over the opponent for respecting your space too much, right? So using that way, it is very, very strong. Now, when it comes to offstage sequences, and I guess and the punish part kind of ties in to the neutral part. This is kind of how I use it in neutral. Now, there are certain sequences that are really good with Absa in like this about uppy. This about uppy is super strong because it allows you to threaten this and then the space, and then allows you to get back. And if Cloud's right there, you can either pop it to protect yourself, or just use it as a way to, you know, threaten space, or you can jump away to a nearby platform. Holy shit, I'm ass. You can jump onto a nearby platform, go do your movement sequences. Because Absa's a very fast character when she does get onto plats. Something I kind of wish that more Absas were good at were just simply moving around the stage with up B and with the platform movement. Because if they would see that Absa is a fucking platform beast. But not a lot of Absas are doing that because I guess they think that Absa has to be a zoner / camper, and I'm like, no, Absa definitely has the tools to play a very aggression game plan, right? So when you're upping a neutral, right, and you hit this about up B, and the cloud is nearby, you can do this top, and you can do a nice forward air. That's a true combo. So this is a really nice extension you can do. And again, you can do stuff like you can do kind of cool stuff like this, where you boom, boom, no mess. You can do something like that, or just a back air if you don't want a down air. But you just have a lot of you have a lot of ways to pressure space with a neutral with a up B. And not being able to utilize it properly is a very big waste in my opinion. Now, if I was good at video games, my fucking damn, why am I doing that? Watch out, there we go. Sorry. So I've kind of used it in neutral. So again, like this up B is really good for waveling on the top plats. This up B is really good for poking and then, you know, getting away if you miss the up B. And the great thing about this up B too is if you hit up B 1, you actually don't need to do second zip, because this is a true combo. So you can do this and a dash attack, or if they DIY you get dash attack, or if you get a farther zip, then they might, this jab itself might not confirm on a DIY on jab 1. So, but again, you have like this jab F tilt, you have this into you have zip into jab into like whatever, but like you have like this zip into jab, like you zip jab nair, you can zip jab down air, zip jab, you know, whatever the fuck you want to do. And so that's another really strong thing about up B, is that the zip 1 can combo into jab, and you know, if they DI the F tilt wrong, they get up air, they get forward air, they get back air, and they might just die, right? So it's a very, very, very strong tool. Now for combos, you don't really use it as a way to extend too hard. Like if you've ever seen that human line clip where I did like nair and I did like zip into like down air, that's like one of the few use cases where you can use zip to combo extend. And zip does have some really nice applications to combo extend, because again, like I said earlier, zip forward air and zip back air too. Zip back air is very dangerous if you can land it. Zip back air, zip forward air are true combos. So, you know, you can do this into whatever. So you have like zip, you can use that down air off of like some things. This is kind of something that you mess around with. Like if I set up on the platform, I might do this up a zip into like a waveland jab, like mid combo. And then you can do like nair landing, JC up B, and then you can get some cool things like this. There's a lot of experimentation to be had. Now, I haven't really shown nair multi-hit up B like yet in any of my sets, because it's not something I really practice. And also nair is just a really good move to land in general, so I'd rather hit sometimes I'd rather just hit nair 6 and like let it go. But there are some things you can do with that. But the main thing to kind of think about when you're combo with nair, or with up B, sorry, is you always want to be hitting the tip of up B. Now sometimes you can't hit that in the middle of it like that, but generally if you hit this about up B, you're not really gonna get a combo. Now there are some scenarios where that's actually a combo, I think, because you're like that close. But like doing this into like, oh my bad, hold up. This into forward air, or like you're never gonna get a sweet spot because you have to go for sour. But like if I was hitting, if I was doing like this, like I would never like want to do that because they can parry or dash out most likely. Like this is really bad. Don't do that. Don't be aggressive there. Because if they know it's coming, they crouch, or if they do whatever, they can kind of punish you. So you're not really trying to be aggressive too much when you're hitting the early hits of up B. But when you get like on the tipper, like right there, you're able to get some really crazy kill confirms 1, if you read the eye, 2, you get the right spacing, and then 3, you pick the right option. So like there, so the idea, not going to upgrade to the back air. And obviously there's no DI, so I knew that was going to confirm like that, but you can cover DI in with the up air. Zip up air is a combo if you get the very end of the zip, right? So, and then for edge guarding, I mean, the 2 main up B angles that are really good for edge guarding are, of course, this, and then you have like this wall jump, or not wall jump, holy. You have this cloud hop, and then you can like thread like this. And both of these options are really good. So you already have cloud here because you do boom, 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 and that is very strong. I've kind of allowed that as a smidgen. The only part is hard part is you're gonna have to have a good read on their wall jump timing. But if you do catch your wall jump with this up B, sends them left because they got hit by you're going down and left, so it sends them that way. I said down left pop. Usually the pop's gonna send them to the left also, and then you get a nice little back air, and that's gonna kill even if it isn't on the Galaxy because back air is a very strong move. And even if they have resources, you can and do offstage sequence and trace after them, right? So not too much to speak on. That I will say, like, this is very good for catching people with no air dodge and no double jump. No double jump especially. Because, honestly, if you were to up-B someone and they were to tech it, they could do tech jump aerial and they could reversal you. But if they don't have double jump, they can't cancel the wall tech animation. Or usually get the height to catch you in the first place. So, if they know double jump, using this as a way to, keep them off stage, because if you get down air, even if they tech the down air, you can, thread with the cloud on stage like this, and then you can, keep the edge guard going even if they tech, and then, you fish whatever tech, F tilt, tech, or not, pop, tech, pop, pop F tilt, pop forward, or pop back air, pop into whatever you really want, right? So not really much to touch on. Now, you did mention, like, it kind of seems like our opponents are freezing up on you whenever they up B, and it's not because I'm just like a top player and like, oh my god, I gotta respect Soul Rifle because he's Soul Rifle. It's mainly because I'm threatening space very effectively with my movement and by simply conditioning the up B in the first place. Because if we are both playing, oh my ass, what the fuck, man? If we are both playing in an equal space, right, where neither of us really has the advantage in neutral, like we each kind of have one half of the stage. So let's say it was like right here, and I was right here. Simply by, well, one, you also have cloud, right? So cloud, I can use this cloud easily to capture the center of the stage. And now they're gonna be like, well, now the cloud's there, and I'm like, yes, I can approach this, and I can dash dance close to it, but at the end of the day, this is a cloud, and as soon as I get hit by it, the Absa is able to move in on me and get a tech chase sequence if I DI away and have to tech, right? So that is very powerful for the Absa. So if I'm able to simply, capture the stage with cloud, I can also threaten their side of the stage with up B, right? Because as soon as I move in here, now I can up B onto the platform. I cover a lot of this ground space too. I can up B onto here to threaten the space and then get backwards and double to the platform. Or reposition like this. Or if I don't have cloud on stage, I can do cloud hop and then this side of the space too. Right? Or if I hit the up B, I can boom boom, and then I can parry bait with cloud hop, and then I can do cloud pop forward air. Something along those lines, right? I have a lot of ways to threaten their side of the stage with up B. Now, obviously, I do up B a lot because I think it's really nice, but I also do it in distances where it's non-committal. Right? So obviously, if I'm upping right here, if I up B right here and I go into them, this is a bad up B because this only catches them jumping on their side of the stage. If they were simply standing right here, they saw me up B above them, they could easily up air me, nair me, whatever they really want to do, right? But by simply, letting them know that this is a possibility, I have multiple angles to go from, boom, 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 because I can also do boom, boom, and then I can thread inwards with the cloud, with a full up cloud like that, or not full up, double jump cloud like this. I just have a lot of ways to threaten that space with my up B movement. Now sometimes, again, this is where I change my positioning. If I move in right here, now the up B distance changes And now I'm conditioning a whole another slew of options. Now obviously cloud is right here, and I can move cloud, I can move it to right here if I get center. I think I'm covering even more options. If they feel threatened, they feel threatened on the ground, they might want to go to platform. I can very easily, you know, go to cover the platform with the up B. Again, it's all about just kind of like understanding the space the space that you're covering, and then trying to anticipate their actions to counter your space. So oftentimes people will try and move close to cloud to bait the pop, but if I honestly am standing right here and they try to dash into too close, boom, boom, that clips them, and now they get put in a really bad spot, especially if cloud pop is able to hit him after the up B, right? So again, I have a lot of different options when it comes to approaching with up B, and not even approaching, literally just threatening the space with up B, right? So, kind of hope that kind of covers everything I wanted to say, or that kind of covers everything that you had in mind, and a bit more, because there are a lot of implications with up B, and it's really unfortunate that Absas are dog shit and will not use this move to its full potential, because this move is insanely good, right? So on to your second question, was the downer question. So, I mean, there's not really a big reason why downer. I just simply think it's the best punish you get on parry every time. Now, obviously, there are some times where I back air them for a kill, or back air them off stage to maybe get a back air chain, or sometimes I will. Actually, I guess that's about it. I kind of just either go for dair, or I go for back air or forward air. Rarely ever forward air, because forward back air is a better chain option than forward air. And the main reason is because if you're good enough, you're able to follow up on every single DI. So, you know, if I set the DI to random, whatever the fuck. Hold on, regular, boom. Then save. If I were to down air, I'm kind of able to react to everything I kind of want. Now, obviously, I'm not perfect, so I will fuck up sometimes. But like, honestly, down air nair is kind of the goal, because you get 25%, and the idea on that nair, you can get another nair or, you know, forward air. Gonna DI left off the river, dude? Why is it not DIing left? There we go. Christ. But again, I can kind of cover. And then there's also a bit of mind game that you can implement at the low percent, because if you're on, usually people will DI the opposite way you are. So if you're coming from like this, you're able to kind of read their DI, and you're able to go straight right and cover their DI right? Same thing if they're at higher percents. So, seems like 90. I think the platforms might fuck with it, but let's see. So obviously, this is a go confirm, right? And then, obviously, up smash does not kill. This is why I don't up smash, because it doesn't kill. I don't know why, like, you're like yelling at me like, why aren't you up smashing? You could obviously just up smash. Obviously, if it was at like 110, and you know I did that shit, then you know you might have a reason to yell at me. But even then, like with no charge, it still doesn't galaxy. Up smash just doesn't really kill like that. Now if I had slight charge, let's see if I can kill him. I'm sure it would kill. But oftentimes, when I parry something, I'm not gonna risk slight charge, so I'd rather just down air and then get to confirm whatever, right? Because I think that's better for me. Because realistically, you are able to. I just need to change the setup. FBI out. Oh shit, I fucked up. There we go. Save. Yeah. Dude, hold right. There we go. Holy shit. Whatever. So you're able to. I really wish the fucking shit was an ass, but realistically, you're able to kind of follow up on every DI if you kind of read it correctly. So obviously, like right there, I had to read it because I was holding right the entire time. But again, you're able to kind of change that. Oh, I have multiple slot files. Interesting. But again, you're able to kind of change that because again, you can get a good read on your opponent. So if the opponent is, you know, DIing the opposite way, I can kind of read this like so, right? Because again, if you have a good read on your opponent, most people are going to DI the opposite way you're drifting. So it depends on how you space your down air. So ideally, I have almost no drift on my down air, but if I have to come over from right here and parry, I'll stop my drift as I down air, or that way I have more, you know, space to go left. And then the other amazing thing about down air is how much fucking hit stun it has. Like, that was never a good example because he fucking killed himself. But if you look at it, look, he had hit stun to the x-intercept of the stage. I don't know what x-intercept is. I pray for you that you learn in math class, but basically it is the point in which you cross the x-axis, right? So kind of think of the x-intercept as the you know, the stage height. So this kind of this line right here, and then if I were to talk about y-intercept, which I don't think I'm going to, you would, you know, think about the center of the stage. But y-intercept you don't really talk about like this because the x-intercept kind of has more applications in a platform fighter. Anyways. So even if I don't follow up on the downer and I don't get like a true combo, like the opponent still gets put in a very poor spot. And not only if I am late or if I do incorrect re-DI, so let's say like I thought he was gonna DI right, and so like, oh, my mental position, I can still react and chase. And as soon as they start drift DIing in, I can maybe still get like a waveland F tilt or a forward air or a back air or an up air. So they have to keep drift DIing away from me the entire time. Another reason why it's very strong is because it can also force people onto platforms, which we talked about. You have, you know, up B extensions off of it. You can do, you know, simply just a waveland F tilt, and that can get you the kill sometimes. You have a leeway when it comes to following up. And if you say I don't really like this way of routing, or I don't think this is optimal, you know, to each their own. Personally, this is what I find the most success in, what I find the most consistency in, and so this is what I do, and that's the reason behind I do it. But if you were to, now what I would say is a shit option is if you were to do an up smash and it doesn't kill, I think I would call you dog shit. Or if you were to do like a fucking folder at center stage, I would call you dog shit. Or like a back air at center stage, I would call you dog shit. Now, if it were like a back air at ledge, because that's really fucking close to killing, right? So that would be like an okay. Personally, I think that'd be okay to do a back air. But again, I would never do jab F tilt. I would never do a nair because of these high percents. If they just DI away from me, they'll DI away. Did he set the N? Holy shit. Christ. I don't really get punished like that, right? Now, obviously, if I changed my drift, if I changed my drift, I could get a forward air like that, but again, that's just a forward air. That's not a really good edgeguard point. Now, obviously, you can be like, well, that is pretty good because, you know, I get him off stage with the forward air. But I'm like, that's not what I'm trying to do oftentimes. I really am kind of just looking for a on-stage confirm or putting them off stage in a bad position. Because again, if they DI away on the down air, they get put below the stage, right? remove them. There we go. They get put below the stage. And I think this is a much better position than, you know, simply doing a nair forward air or simply a forward air at center or a back air at center. And again, you could also argue, well, if I just turn myself around, I can do nair back air. But again, they could mess with their drifty eye, they could mess with anything else, and that is something that is good. And you're like, well, what's the difference between down air and nair then? Because you also have to make a read, sort of. Well, it's the hit stun values, and it's also the height that you get off of down air too. Down air gives you a lot more time to react and position yourself compared to nair, where the opponent is only going to be in hit stun and is going to be in travel for a certain amount of time. So if you end up nairing them here and you drop, then it's like the opponent didn't get put off stage, or they didn't get put, you know, anywhere really bad. They kind of just got your combo. That you might reversal, or that could have been a pivotal moment where you need to pick up a kill. It's like the difference between those two moves is that if you don't get to pick up on down air, at least you get a better position for a chase sequence or a platform tech chase, right? So those are the two different. That's kind of the difference between that's why I down air, and that's why I don't do nair or up smash oftentimes. Because up smash doesn't kill a lot of the times, and then two, nair is just not as good as down air in my opinion. Now, if you did watch a set and like the opponent's like fucking like 150, why did you not up smash? It's probably because I was just fishing for down air up air anyways, because I'm a fuckhead. Because honestly, and this sounds BM, but when I have a big enough lead, I will just, down air anyways, because I don't care, because I want to practice that confirm. And you'll honestly see it, me do it in friendlies too, where I kind of just go for these confirms that aren't really, I go for things that aren't necessarily correct. Like, you could have just killed with a forward air, when I might just go for like a sour hit or like a cloud extension, or go for an up B extension, because usually I'm at a game state to the point where I don't need to really try, or I'm up 2-0 and I don't really care if I drop a game, right? That's really the only reason why you might see me down or someone at like 130 or something. So the last question that you kind of had for me was based on Forsbjorn, and to answer the question, can you do a similar thing as to what I was doing at Maypul during the GX plan set with Absa? Absolutely. Honestly, in the CSS, a lot of characters can implement the same plan, where you just either hit clone or Forsbjorn to destroy clone. Like, probably the only character that can really do it effectively is like Raster. Kind of has a bit of a hard time. Maybe hold on. Actually, spirits can drop it slow. Maybe SK, because downer is kind of committal, and I really like that. Ori sorta, but not really, because side B and sign taps can break clone. And then Sylve. Actually, no, Flowers. Probably Olympia too. Some of the characters that probably would be like Olympia, Raster, and I forget if I said anyone else. I think that was it though. Every character has a way to go off stage and interrupt, fucking Forsbjorn's clone sequence, or the clone recovery sequence. Clarion can up B, Zedeburn, I guess Forsbjorn can't really do it. Actually, nice clone. Zedeburn has Shine and Fireball. Absa has up B and Clap. Eliana has missiles, and also just hover with whatever the fuck. Notes, and also hover with float. Spirits, sorta, that's kind of why I said sorta. Needles, plus you can offstage sequences, icicles, droplet. Also, you can go offstage to nair. SK was something else kind of. So, like, I guess fishing, honestly, but like, fish is so fucking dog shit. I wish you could cancel the reel better, like on hit. That would make that move actually real. Anyways, Ori with, whatever the fuck. Crag with rock. Kind of just rock, and also pillar sequences, sort of. Maypul with down B and side B. Sylve with flowers. Ollie can't really do that well, and then obviously Malo with bombs. So how you would do that with Absa would look pretty simple. If the opponent is really low, you can go this. You can do like this, because you can make it back with boom, 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 and you can break one like this. And then obviously you can folder, and then you hop like this, or you can, that's not what you want to do. Oh, something, I don't know if you know, but you can wall jump cancel up B. So that's how you're able to do this. You can wall jump cancel this. So this is a very fast sequence. Like you should, every time you do this up B, your timing should look like this every time. Just gonna wall jump. It shouldn't be like this, boom, boom, boom. It should be like boom, 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 right? A mess. Boom, 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 right? So, if you're good at the game, or I guess you practice, this becomes a lot easier to do. But again, they're super low. You can do this, and then you can run cloud. You can do cloud hop. You can do cloud hop into pop into side into double jump side B. You can do, you can do down air into cloud hop pop side B. Whatever the fuck you really want to do. Again, you just have a lot of options. Or, you can set a cloud down there, or set a cloud out here, because, when forces are covering, they have to create smoke right here, and using the cloud as a means to snipe the smoke away can be very good. Kind of the same way I was using side view with Maypul to hit that. So again, you don't need to do that. You can do something like this, right? If you really fucking wanted to, right? You can do the possibilities are endless, and how you actually innovate the matchup is completely up to you. Personally. And no shade to Penguin, I think he was a great competitor, but I think Penguin did not fucking learn the matchup for the fucking 5 years he played Cake. I actually think she won one major, or I think it was 2 actually. She won one big major over Cake at Smash and Splash 4, and maybe it was 5. Yeah, it was 5. That's 5, and Penguin probably just played better that set, but she didn't really implement anything crazy, like all the way till G8, where she kind of stopped competing, because I think Double Down was kind of her last big tournament. Or I guess GX was her last big tournament because she got 5th, but she kind of stopped competing during that season, or after that season, right? She didn't really innovate any good things with up B, with Cloud, because I think Penguin had a playstyle that she wanted to stick to that kind of didn't let her do some of the things that I do. So as you know, I'm a very aggressive player. I like playing in your face. I like approaching. I like doing these cool movement sequences because I think not only is it cool, but I also think it's optimal. Because any character in this game can be played fast enough to compete with other fast characters. Obviously, you're going to be better than Maypul Speed one day because you're fucking nasty, but it's going to allow you to compete on a similar playing ground, right? Which I think is very important when you're dealing with fast characters, as a character like Absa. It's not all just about fucking zoning out, not letting people get in your face. It's about kind of playing to your speed ever so slightly while also utilizing your own character strengths, right? But to answer your question, whether should I be upping or should I be siding, do both. Because every time when I was edgeguarding Cake, it wasn't like I was every single time going off stage to go to hit him. Sometimes I set up with Lily, sometimes I play the ledge trap with a back air, right? But understanding when you should do either is important. So the easiest thing to kind of make sure I'm still recording. I think I'm still recording. Yeah. So the easiest thing to kind of tell whether you should be doing side B or doing cloud or be doing up B is whether is speed or is how actionable force run is. So let's say that you send force run off stage. Let's say this right here. Right. Not control, regular. Let's just do DI in, drift DI away. I don't really care about that. Let's just do 60, 70 actually. Save. And let's say I forward it, right? at this position, I can't really chase too hard with my sequence, right? I can't really follow up like too hard because the main difference between hitting a forwarder right here and a forwarder right here is the travel time that you have to take. Because after the forwarder, I have to way dodge all the way up, and then now I get to where I want to be, right? And though during that entire travel, the opponent is getting less into their hit stun and less into their hit stun as they go, right? So it's important to know whether you can be aggressive or not. So here, forwards burn, travel, and now the forwards burns out of some of that jump ring, so they can create clone, pop, and they can go low, and so you can technically go aggressive from there with up B, but at the same time, the opponent or the forwards burn is close to the stage to threaten with forward air, with up B, with nair, jump waveland onto a platform or stage. He's able to threaten those options because he's close to the stage and because you weren't able to catch his immediate options, right? Compared to here, yeah, let's try there, and let's make the percent lower to like 40, and let's save. That's what I want. Yeah. So compared to here, where it's like a forward air, and now I threatened off stage with my personal character, and so now the forwards have to respect me. Like, oh, she could clout shot, she could side B me, she could forwarder me again, she could do I guess it's two main options, but those two options are very threatening, right? She could back air me, she could whatever the fuck. She can do those things, so now the forwards are like, oh man, I gotta back away from her, I gotta create more space, I gotta recover low. And so during this sequence where you're like, and again, the forwards are not gonna do what I want to do, so I'm just you kind of gotta manage as best as possible. But after this cloud hop, I can then do this, and now the opponent has to create smoke. So I hit forward air, boom, okay, whatever, boom, and then now I can go off stage like this. So to snipe the clone, snipe the smoke, snipe whatever, because I was able to threaten that space very effectively. Now you can do the same kind of something similar right here, because if they were to recover low on you, like they didn't respect you, it's pretty easy to just do that and then kind of accomplish the same thing. But another thing to pay attention to, and when you're edge guarding, is if instead of the opponent creating clone, I guess I can show you actually. Over there, no, that's not the right thing. Instead of the opponent creating a clone, they could simply up B onto stage, and now you'd be off stage because you're upping, and now the opponent can create more smoke. They can create clones and off stage. They pretty much reverse the position. So being too aggressive can sometimes be a detriment, right? So it's important to understand or to know when you should be aggressive. And again, it's a conditioning, it is a mix-up. So it's not necessarily a right or wrong depending on position, it is a right or wrong depending on what you think the opponent is going to do and respect, right? So if the opponent's not respecting you, they're like, oh, boom, 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 clone, yada, yada, yada. And this is like, yeah, that's the ideal recovery route when you are recovering with forwards burn. So again, it's like if I'm doing pop, boom, boom, and then I up beat a smoke, then I create clone, you could very easily interrupt that with a cloud. You could up B like right here, something along those lines. And obviously, it's better to up B depending on if they're closer to the wall. So if they were to boom, boom, and then smoke line, and they were to create it right here, this is ideal because now, you're like, oh, I saw this. And then now you can break with either an aerial. I kind of fucked it up there, but you can break it with your up B. And if they up it in the smoke of that moment, then they die because they. They sort of die. They do have their wall jump, but they won't get their double jump refresh, so they'll have to do like wall jump, neutral B, and then smoke refresh. But I guess what you can do is like if you think they're gonna live, you can just go down for them again, and then whatever the fuck. So again, you have a lot of offense you have a lot of offensive pressure with up B, and obviously if you think the opponent is like, oh, they're gonna, they're probably gonna fold right here, you can very easily cloud, and you always step their double jump, and now they're cooked because you get cloud at the folder like this, and then now they get cooked, right? So again, it's understanding the offensive pressure that you have available to you, and then knowing when when you should and when should not go off stage, and also understanding what options beat your aggression, and then what options beats their aggression too, right? Because again, if they forward at you, that forward is going to lose that cloud every time. So again, cloud forward, they use your double jump, you can get a very easy order chain off of it, right? Alright. I think that's all I'm gonna say though. In terms of your questions. Yeah, alright, I think I'm gonna end it there. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm more than happy to help. Bye-bye.